Hello lovely people, welcome to Carmela's Art Journey, the journey that is ours. Today I want to talk a little bit about coffee. Yes, coffee that can help us getting a lot of nice effects. And then you say, coffee, well, and yeah, coffee, and there are a lot of other natural pigments that we can use to achieve some interesting details and interesting effects. And in this case, as you can see in this picture that I wanted to show you, this is an older picture that I started with watercolor and some drawing, and I am still to finish this. As you can see, there is a little piece here that I will finish at some point. I mean, this picture I started in maybe 2015, 21 years ago. I don't know, 10 years ago, or 11. That's 20, no, 10. I used coffee on this amazing cotton watercolor paper to make it look old. As you can see, it ages the paper. It looks like an old picture. And as my soul tends to love the past and to get attached and attracted to things from the past, old pictures, old postcards, old drawings and paintings, and everything old, everything antique, I sometimes like to transport this to my own art, especially because my art has very much to do with the history. There's always some nature involved, there is spirituality, there is a lot of things involved in my art, but definitely the past and history and ancestry is a big part of my work. So here, as I said, I used the coffee to make it look older. As you can see here, I put some white paper on the background so that you can clearly see the this brown beige color that the coffee gives us, and this one is a very smooth one, but you can get some other details. I will show you today how to do this using instant coffee. I mean, you can also use other coffees, I would say, for that. You can use the coffee powder when you have already drank your coffee. Just take the rest that use coffee powder. You can use that too, or you can use the coffee already mixed, or you can use tea, like black tea or other kinds of tea that has strong color, like mate and I don't know, maybe rooibos. I don't know if I pronounced this right. I am not a very big tea person, but in art, for sure. So here I have one that I have prepared already, and it's wet. And I prepared this one in thinner paper, so that's why it's a little bit wavy, but it's no problem. This is a postcard, a watercolor postcard from Hannah Mühle, and I used a lot of water for that, as you can see, and I used my coffee in a very strong way with some details, so I just left it to get dry separately somewhere. It's still drying, as you can see, but can you see the amazing stains that I got here with this technique? And here and there. So if you just let it lay somewhere drying, it will work like watercolors actually. So once you let it just lay there, you are able to get some of such details. In this case here, as I said, it's a very smooth one, so I used plain coffee with no little crumbs of coffee as I used here. So here's just smooth with the brush. So you see, it's also a little bit stronger. And then I can work on here after that, after it's dry, just as usual. You probably will get a little bit of the coffee even when it's dry. When you are applying your watercolors, it can get mixed a little bit, but don't worry about that, because this is all part of the process. In this case here, I used the coffee and then I applied the watercolor. I would always do like that for watercolors, but in this case you can use, for example, when it's dry, or before drying or before applying the coffee, you can use markers to draw, you can use pencil to draw and then apply the coffee afterwards, or vice versa. So now I have here this guy, this lovely guy. Oh, and I have here some some gold leaf hanging around here that came from the other one that I applied. It happens too, but it's no problem, because if you take it away and you're going to put it in a frame, it will take it away. No worries about little things that happen in the surroundings or on the edges of your drawing. Don't worry about that. So let's go for our coffee. I am using here a wider brush. This is cow hair. Yeah. So I think this is going to be a nice one for this paper. In this case, yes, the paper is 300 gram from Arteza that I am using on my sketchbook. And this is a very textured one, as you can see. But let's great, same way. So what will I do first? I want to get all the area covered. So now I will just put any paper here under, just protect it under sheet of my sketchbook. I have here already prepared a little bit of my instant coffee that I used for the little sheet that I showed you, this one. So here it is. And I have here some instant coffee, and I have to say mine is old, so it works quite well. Maybe not to drink, but for art, for sure. So I will start applying water on my surface, and I will go over the surface because I want this to be wholly covered. And if I don't have to worry about any kind of framing or edges, I can apply with the white brush and just make it wet. In this case here, in the little one that I showed you, I left a little frame around so that it looks like a note postcard. Here I have already drawn this bird. There I will draw afterwards. And this bird will be done with watercolors after the coffee, so that we can see how the coffee will work and merge and combine with the watercolors. So. As for other pigments, you can control the intensity of your color by putting more or less pigments. Well, if I want this to be this light, I will just keep it up as it is. You know, you don't have to take or put any more water or any more pigments. But we are here to experiment things and try different things, so let's go for a little bit more, maybe on the edges, and then apply some of the coffee crumbs in the surroundings so that we can get some of those effects. Water here and there. Well, if you want to keep your paper very straight and very flat, I would suggest you put it on a board and fix it to the board with some tape, some washi tape, or some sensitive tapes for watercolors, for painting in general, so that you get this very straight. Or you can also do the preparing of the watercolor papers beforehand, like putting it under water, letting it soak, and then put it on the board, let it dry, do this again, let it dry. This is a very common process for many watercolorists. I am an illustrator that goes and does, so I really don't care very much. I try to get my effects around the waves of the paper, and then I let it just get dry, and I put some weight on it, and it's beautiful. So sometimes the waves can help me get some very interesting effects. Again, I will show you this because this is how it got dry. So you see, this wouldn't happen if my paper would be completely straight and flat. So now I will change to a round brush because I don't want the edges of the flat brush to stay here everywhere. So with this, I can definitely control my pigments that way. So, and when it's done and dry, I will go with my watercolors. Maybe I will use some colored pencils afterwards for some nice and fine details, but I don't know yet. For sure, I will do the watercolor as soon as this gets dry, and you will see how these techniques work. Now, let's do some experiment. Let's have some fun with some of the crumbs, coffee crumbs. I believe when your coffee, your instant coffee, is fresher than mine, it will dissolve in the water much easier. You know, but that's no problem. This is the one I have here for a while. I haven't been using coffee for a while, so that's why it got old, but as you see, you can still get some very cool details. In general, you just apply the crumbs and let them just get dry there. Of course, if you want to try other details yourself, you can just go around with your coffee grounds. So let's move our water. The other ones I will put back here, and then I can put more water and make my coffee stronger, a little bit stronger. If you let it here, it will just dissolve in the water, so no worries about that. Still have some on my brush. Well, as you can see, I used to create very freely, so and see go how I would like to see and have. So and sometimes I just let myself get surprised by the stains, by the effects that I get through my experiences, experiments, and thoughts, and trying and doing. And I like that. I pretty much like that. But you can be sure that I will always tell you how it went. And sometimes things go wrong too, and that's okay. That's okay for everybody. Don't judge yourself. Don't think you have done something wrong. Sometimes mistakes happen. Sometimes we create things that we don't like very much. It all belongs to the process of creating. So allow yourself to do something, to get something done that is not necessarily nice. And if you get any mistakes, like sometimes the watercolor goes beyond what you wanted, sometimes your pencil falls on your drawing or on your paper, and sometimes the water drops wrongly. So let's try to accommodate those mistakes, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you can just create from those mistakes. And as I would say and citate Bob Ross, happy mistakes. Sometimes you get amazing effects that were born unwanted. So from mistakes you can sometimes work around that, or work on that, or include that and accommodate that to get something really, really nice. So now let's see how it is. If I would leave this here, not all of them, I think I would take some of them away, like leaving just the little things that are already there. Oh, putting a little shadow here around. I love this technique. And let me know in the comments if you would like to see works with other natural stuff like tea bags, like tea powders, like coffee powders, or other pigments like, I don't know, red ones like beetroot. I think that's the name in English, yeah, beetroot. I have worked with beetroot juice, and there are some other juices that are very interesting to be used. Let me know, and I would prepare a series of some nice natural pigments for you. Of course, not all work very well alone, so sometimes you have to combine them with binders. I have to search for the right words in English too, but I think you know what I mean, and some carriers and such stuff. But I can bring something to you with the right words and all the research behind that if you would be interested in. So I hope you liked it for the moment, and as I said, I will show you the results when it's dry. Now here we have this older one. Amazing, love that. And this one, when I work on this one and I make this postcard looking a little older, I will bring it to you too, as project, as a short video, or as photos on our community tab. So for now, I think that's it. We will wait for this to get dry to start our watercolor on this little guy here. And don't forget to stay positive. Please do like, share, comment, subscribe, as you know, because it helps us keep growing, keep showing you this cool stuff. And also don't forget to visit my page on trianglestudio.ie. There you will see my offers, you will see my shop, my gallery, and there will be new art for sale coming in, and prints and other cool stuff. Stay positive, folks. Bye-bye.